Disclaimer. Hey everyone, just a quick heads up before we get started. I want to let you know I'm completely transparent. This channel shares my personal trading journey and insights, including discussions of significant gains. Please remember, past performance is not a guarantee of future success, and all trading involves substantial risk. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Please always do your own research and consult with a professional financial advisor before making any trading decisions. I am not responsible for any actions taken based on the information provided in this video. Use this information at your own risk. This is the $8 challenge. Thank you so much for coming by. Today is episode 15, and I am very happy to say the account was up 8% today. I made 4 trades, all same day till expire, plus 36, break even, plus 11, and I finished the day off giving back some profits, minus 12%. Unfortunately, I got shaken out on that one, and I could have held and actually locked in profits there, but you know, it is what it is. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. That's just the way the cookie crumbled today. But you can also see there the last 2 days being red, minus 24 and minus 15. And I haven't even had the time to write down all the details on there. I probably won't write down the contracts. I'll probably just write the percentages next to them in preparation of the weekly recap video. So I'm just glad I got some of that written down. Again, thank you all so much for coming by. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Please drop that like down below. That really helps out the algo. And if you're new here, please subscribe if you enjoy it. Here we go, diving in, looking at the 15-minute chart, and you can see we finally broke out of that chop zone. And it really all started yesterday, right when market closed. SPY started to sell off. You know, there was earnings coming out on several companies, and that really is what drove the price down. And as you can see, that led to a nice gap down in pre-market, and it kind of bounced up, really filled that gap, and came back down all within after hours, which, you know, that's what happens a lot of the time, and it's frustrating, but you know, it just is what it is. But it can often be a good sign that there's going to be a good move later on in the day, or at least a somewhat of a move, you know, kind of breaking out of that range and taking that next step down. So that's really what happened today. We didn't see any crazy moves, but we did see a move nonetheless. And you can see right here, we broke through this next level of support, which was 452, and we kept heading down. So zooming on into the 1-minute chart, let's wrap this up, make this short and sweet. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to help. I like to keep things, you know, short and simple here, so I might skip over a lot of details here and there, but again, happy to help if you have questions. So anyways, trade number 1 in at 10:06, out at 10:09. You can see right here in the yellow, I held this for 3 minutes, locked in profit for 36%. So starting the day off with a nice win, felt really good. And you can see why I got into this position. I was looking for support to break right here at this 452.69 level, and I actually got in just a little bit early in anticipation of the move and got the move, so I was very happy. You know, the last 2 days, every time I've gotten in just a little bit early for the move, the move didn't happen. So, you know, that's all part of trading. Important thing is cutting losses quick and moving on to the next trade, because there's always going to be another good trade just around the corner. But next, speaking of next trade, trade number 2, in and out very fast in just under a minute. You can see break even right there in the orange, so getting a little bit impatient there, and I also just didn't want to risk the market ripping up and giving back all those profits. So you know, I'm happy I locked in that first trade when I did, but I could have held it and had a much bigger win. But you know, that's all part of it. After 2 red days, not taking that chance. So trade number 3, you can see I got in at 10:15 and out at 10:15 45 seconds later, and that was 11% profit in 45 seconds. So really happy that I finished off the move. You know, it was kind of felt like I was chasing it, a little bit over trading, because it was so many trades in such a small time frame, and I wish I kind of would have just sat back and probably not even made these second 2 trades and saved that buying power. But you know, it is what it is. It felt good to lock in profits early on in the day. And you can see right here, it started to bounce back up. So if I would have been holding that first position, I would have been just like beating myself up, giving back all those profits. Even though, you know, hindsight 2020, I would have made a good profit holding through all this. So it is what it is. You know, when the market has been choppy and there's big moves that happen after hours, I really just don't want to push my luck. So moving on, trade number 4. In at 10:49, out at 10:50. So I guess my average hold time today was really about a minute long, and this one gave back profits pretty quick, got shaken out right here in this area, which was a little frustrating. I almost didn't even take the trade, but I was like, it looks like it's going to continue. I saw this big candle right there, and I was like, okay, all right, feel like I'm chasing a little bit, but it definitely feels like we could continue down. And unfortunately, I just wasn't willing to let this go too red. I was just willing to let it go that 12%. If I was feeling riskier, I definitely would have been able to hold through that move, but not today. So happy to end on a green day. And you can see the rest of the day it was a little bit choppy, and we did eventually make lower lows kind of in power hour. You can see a lot of volume kind of coming in right there. Nice strong bounce off of 449.35, but I do not think this level holds up. So we'll see how it kind of plays out. You can see right now the market is officially closed, and it looks like it wants to come up, but I do not expect that to happen. Now, I could definitely be wrong. Do not quote me on this. I am not a financial advisor, but I do love me some good technical analysis. And by the way things are looking, they're looking down in my opinion. So here is the account wrapping it up 8.7%, so almost 9, and it was actually 11 before I gave back profit. So that was just annoying, but it is what it is. Had 9 green days in a row, 2 red days in a row. I'm ready to start the streak, and maybe I'll go for 10 green in a row. Who knows? But you can see down here is my transaction history. If you're new here, I say this all the time, but I'm completely transparent, as I truly believe this is what will help people the most. Kind of seeing behind the scenes, seeing what people are really doing, not just seeing screenshots, not just saying this is where I bought, this is where I sold. Actually seeing the timestamps, actually seeing the balance and really the profit and loss behind it. Because there's so many people just sharing screenshots or paper trading and pretend like it's real money. But I could go on and on about that. But anyways, again, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you guys, and I hope you stay happy and healthy. I'll see you tomorrow.